Welcome to a new video. I'm just in the final throes of preparation for a bike trip across France. We're flying in to Toulouse airport, cycling across France and Italy, and returning to the UK from Pisa airport. So what I'm doing here is just showing you how I package a couple of bikes ready for the trip, and hopefully for them not to sustain any damage due to the trip itself, by air that is. So I'm just going to go through a few techniques I use, showing you how to prepare the bike, prepare the box and do the final packaging. A few of the things that you will need. You'll need a bike box, of course. This is a good strong one. The carcass of this is a double corrugation, some are single, this is a double. Good strong boxes. Some pipe insulation. I think this is a 22mm pipe insulation, very good, very cheap. Some sort of foam wrap, bubble wrap, shoe box, which you'll see the use of that in a short while, apart from obviously carrying your shoes in. Sharp knife, a bit of glue, which is optional, bit of gaffer tape, bit of masking tape, a couple of pens, scissors, and a straight edge. In addition to what I've shown you here, it's useful to have at your disposal some other packaging materials, a bit of cardboard in particular, a bit of polystyrene. That's all useful stuff. So I'm going to do the video sort of in three parts. First of all, preparing the bike itself, preparing the box, and then just the final packaging. So in terms of bike preparation, just a few small things, a couple of tips really. I normally run these tyres around about 95 psi. Because they've been air freighted and it's in a deep pressurised compartment of the aircraft, I tend to drop the pressures a little bit just to allow for that. Otherwise the effective pressure would probably be somewhere well past 100. Probably within the capacity of the tyre, but I'd rather just pump them up the other end rather than risk a ruptured tyre. So I just take those down, just a few psi, just so I can get my thumb and easily press the tyre in, and then just seal it off. And it also provides a little bit of shock absorption whilst the bike's in transit. So front and back tyres just drop down a few psi. Other tips just around here: make sure your lights are fitted already. I've just swapped mine over to the left hand side of the bike, just so it's on the correct side for European travel. On the seat post I've put a bit of black insulation. You can't see it very well on film here, but there's a bit of black insulation just to mark the post so the seat goes back in the same place. Derailleur, I move in slightly to one of the higher sprockets here, just to keep the derailleur within the line of the frame, just to stop a bit of impact damage there. I mentioned I've let the tyres down, so one of the first things you'll need to remember is of course your bike pump as well. That will go in the shoe box, just to save it being a loose article and potentially disappearing out one of the holes in the box itself. So I take that off and put that in the box, which I'll come back to later. Other things on the bike, I'll just put a little bit of tape on the handlebars themselves, just to align with the stem itself. So when the bars go back on, it's very, very easy just to line the bars up, tighten them up, and they're in the correct place. Most of the framework done now with the pipe insulation. The other thing I've done, I've taken the pedals off, packaged those, just in a bit of polystyrene wrap, and I've just marked the drive side. It again just makes it slightly quicker to pick up the right pedal for the right side. Quite an important thing to do if you've got a disc brake bike is protect this disc, not just to protect the disc itself, but also protect the disc from scratching your frame as well. So I think a tried and tested method is just to stuff a bit of cardboard behind the disc itself. Okay, the next step of the process is preparing the box itself. Now, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people just drop the boxes through the top side, through the top side of the box, put the bike in, put the wheels in, package it best they can, and that's the job done. However, my method here is very different, where you access the box from the side, and it enables you to strengthen the box. Whilst the box is generally quite good protection, one thing it doesn't offer is much strength on the side. As you can see here, it's quite a flimsy construction really, so if anything hits the box, the shock will go straight through, hit your bike and possibly do some damage to it. So one thing I do is cut the side off So what you should end up with a box. So you can just open up like that. And I'll just put a little scour on the side here just to allow that to hinge a bit better. Now the next step is to put the bike in and then start packaging and make sure there's no contact points. Okay, a couple of more pieces of box preparation. I've just put these little pads together, just a bit of polystyrene wrap with bubble wraps there just to really stop the polystyrene breaking down into small pieces everywhere. So put two in. This end is the rear wheel end, so the rear wheel will sit on here, a bit of extra cushioning, and then the front forks will fit into this one here. So, and then the other piece that needs to be fitted both sides is just cut a piece of cardboard. Again, thicker the better, stronger the better. You can use a bit of hardboard if you wish. And then these then fit in the sides here, so that when the box closes, the lid closes down, it closes down to this piece here. So I'm just going to put a bit of tape on there, a little bit of glue, and put those in position. And then before I close the box up, I'll put a little piece of tape in here just to secure it. Okay, box preparation is pretty well done. I've got the side pieces in here, bit of glue, bit of tape underneath and on the top just to secure those. Bottom polystyrene pieces are in, both the forks and the rear wheel, just a little bit of tape to hold those in the right place so they're moving around. Bike's all padded up. I rotate the crank so it's in line with the bottom stay here and secured with a bit of masking tape. Handlebars are loosely fitted. I want a bit of movement in those, as you'll see in a moment. And then the front wheel is prepared with the piece of cardboard of the disc, and that, in this particular instance, is best fitted in that position there. So that's how it's all going to fit. I'm going to put some more padding around the chain set at the moment just to protect that area and also protect the wheel as well. And then this little void here is where the shoebox will go. Okay, the last couple of things to pack are your seats. I've just bubble wrapped that. Just put a little bag around the stem just to stop the grease getting or anything. That conveniently fits at the top here in this particular case. It's fairly snug. I've got two water bottles, one fits in its normal cage on the seat tube, and then the other one I'm just going to tuck in here, just in front here. I'll probably put a bit more stuffing around there, but the next part is the important part. That's what makes this method a much more secure way of transporting your bike. Now the cover on this particular one, when I put it in place, I've had a quick look, the point of contact unfortunately is the rear derailleur. So I've added some bubble wrap in that area just to protect it. But what makes this box, or what will make this box very, very secure, is I cut some strips. This started with a long strip, the same width to the box is wide, so in this case 225mm. I then form little sections, usually triangular shaped, that sort of order. I'll spend a bit more time making these, and then I then fit these across the box. I've now got about 10 reinforcement points in here. They all measure about 225mm, which is the width of the box. Everything's all in place. I've got one piece just to cover the front wheel, everything's secure. I know there's no contact metal to metal. Everything's all insulated from each other. So just put one final cover of the wheel, just tuck that in there. I'm fairly happy with all that. And as you can see now, the sides back in place, how secure that becomes. And once it's all taped up and the sides are connected together, it does reinforce it again. So that's the next and final step really, apart from putting a label on, flight number. That's how the bike will look when it's finally packed. Once the top's pulled in, plus these reinforcements then will touch the side. And I've got one little extra piece here, which will just fit in there like that. Show the back wheel again, a little bit of extra support, whatever. And one thing I've got to mount it as a seat. The seat just drops in, so I'm reasonably content that's secure. Well, that's it, that's complete now, sealed up. I've taped all the edges to avoid any sharp edges, reinforced the handholds on the ends, and it's all pop and label, it's all good to go. Just like I mentioned, I've got another bike to do, so the tools I've used to dismantle, obviously the tools I used to reassemble at the airport end. It means the 4 Allen keys for this particular bike, the specialised bike I've just done. My wife's bike needs an extra Allen key for the pedals, which are a different size to mine, they're 10mm. And what I've done, just to save a bit of weight, I cut down an Allen key, just cut the end off, drilled a hole in it, hopefully you can see that okay, and that then fits onto a chain tool, little rubber end to it. And I just use that as an Allen key, and then if I need any extra leverage to get the pedals off when I air freight the bikes back to the UK, I can take the chain tool off and actually use a seat post on that as an extra lever just to undo the pedals. The next time I see this bike, of course, will be in Toulouse Airport. People in the past have asked me what I do with the rubbish. Now, most airports, I'll be assembling this bike in all likelihood at the sort of front entrance to the airport, the arrivals area, just find a quiet spot. And what I've found, most airports have a porter that's they're constantly emptying bins, clearing rubbish away. And last time when I've done this to Bilbao Airport, that was no exception. A very, very friendly porter came along and took the rubbish away. Once we'd finished, I gave him a few euro tip for the privilege. So, I'll see you on the next. Bye for now.